It is 5:27 p.m. I just got off work at my job. Um, and now once I get home, I'm going to be working on my second job, and that is YouTube. Now, no, I'm not monetized. No, I don't have any brand deals or obligations other than just the promises I've given to myself. And I really am trying to have that mindset when it comes to that I really do. You know, I promised myself that I would be consistent. I promised myself that I would do this when I didn't have other things to worry about. And before I go back to school in August, and before other things just start to happen in life, because that's what life naturally does, I just wanted to give this my all. And that's what I'm trying to do. It's something I'm really enjoying doing too. I really do love working on that, the editing process, and watching these movies and coming up with some sort of way to talk about it from my perspective. And even though the comments are still not that many, being able to talk to other people about these movies, getting these long paragraphs about what I thought or what they thought, being a kind of buffer in order for them to get their opinion off, I think is amazing. And I'm very thankful to have that experience and to be somebody who can inspire in that way, to where people feel like they want to say something back to me. I'm very tired. I am exhausted. My head has been hurting all day, and yet I don't want to give up. I don't want to just throw in the towel and just work on it tomorrow. You know, again, I have a goal and I want to stick to it. And I hope that whatever you want to do, because it doesn't have to be creative, and I think the creative space is very overrated. Even being your own boss is very overrated. But whatever you find joy in, I hope that you find that or do have that and hold on to it for dear life, because it's very important to do that for yourself. You know, I'm 22, and I have lived life in a way where I feel like I haven't done a lot, and yet I've done things that some people will never do in their life. And in some ways you could look at that positively, in some ways you could look at that negatively. But I do pride myself in the fact that I do try. I really give a fuck a lot. Um, it matters to me what I do with my life. It matters to me how far I push things and how far I push myself. And I am a lazy person. I do procrastinate. But when I really am stuck on something, I give it 110%. And even with this YouTube thing, as you probably have seen, especially if you are trying to do YouTube, you've probably seen the YouTube is on easy mode shit. And yeah, I don't I think that stuff can really get in your head. It really can make you feel like, if it's so easy, then why is it not working out for me? And for me myself, something I'm struggling with is like recognizing that nothing really is easy. Nothing just comes easy at all. The life that I live right now, like, people can assume that it's easy. Like, yeah, like I was able to move out and now I'm live with my parents again because of a pretty bad roommate situation that left me in a financial but more emotional deficit. And now I'm able to move back in with my parents. You could say, oh, like, that's such a blessing and that's so great. And that's not to say it isn't. It absolutely is. And I'm very thankful to be with my parents and to be able to interact with my mom every day, be able to see my sister growing up and seeing her become the young lady that she is becoming, and being very proud as a big brother. But I deal with insane insecurity issues and self-doubt and depression and frustration at where my life is. I didn't even think I'd live this long, and for me to live this long and to not be where I want to be in life is incredibly frustrating. It does a lot to my psyche. And a lot of times when I'm telling my sister, like, oh, like, do this instead of doing that and trying to give her some sort of advice, I'd be thinking like, who am I to give her advice at all? And so it's not as easy as it may seem at all for anybody. I'm just one person who has my experience, and in that experience, people could say that I'm incredibly lucky and blessed. And again, I'm not saying I'm not, but the grass looks greener on the other side, but it might not actually be. Because again, I struggle immensely. Even with this job, I've had this job at a bank. I've had this job since COVID, and I am, or maybe a year after COVID, and this job is so easy, bro. It's so easy, and I barely do anything, and I get paid like $18, $19 an hour, and I'm incredibly blessed for that. But I'm a person who struggles a lot with like mental warfare. I'm constantly under attack mentally. I constantly am being told that by myself, just voices that I've created, being told that I'm not enough, that I'm ugly, that I'm stupid, that I should kill myself. Like, I'm constantly being told that in my head, and it's very hard for me. But at the same time, it's like balancing the fact that I'm literally just sitting there in my cubicle doing nothing, watching a YouTube video or waiting for an email to come in or whatever. Like, a lot of people would sacrifice so much to be where I'm at. And there is a duality in all that, you know? There is really a duality in recognizing like what you struggle with, but that like it's not as hard as it may feel, and not making it harder on yourself than it has to be. And even with like me looking at YouTube as if it's a second job for me, wanting it to be my main priority, I don't have to do that. And it does make my life harder. If I wanted to make my life easier, I would go home, shower, and go to sleep. Because again, my head is hurting right now as I do this video. I'm in pain. I'm in pain physically and mentally. But I don't want the easy path. I don't want my life to be easy. I've always dreamed big. I've always had big ambition and aspirations, even if I've been a lazy person for most of my life. I've always had big dreams. I've always wanted to be great at something. And not even for the world to dictate that, even though I do think that there is a give and take in order to be great, in my opinion. In order to be great, I do think you have to give something out in order for it to be received, to really earn greatness, in my opinion. But I don't want the easy path. I don't want my life to be something simple. I've always wanted to do more than one thing, and even with this YouTube thing, as hard as I'm going at it, I don't want my life to just be that either. Even with music, when I was rapping, I didn't want my life to just be that. Like, I have a hard time settling. And that's showed itself in many different ways in my life, where I can't slow down. Not long enough to. There was one time in my life where I feel like I could do that, but that came and went. And now, at this point in my life, I just can't slow down. I constantly am moving, constantly am doing this or doing that, and trying to perfect something, you know? But something I'm starting to realize about myself is that I think I'm always trying to perfect the first step, and I don't take a lot of steps after that. And that's something I want to push myself to do differently, because I think that in order to be better at all things and to, get better at honing my craft, I have to acknowledge other parts of the process. Even with the videos and my editing, it's cool that I do know that my editing is getting better and people are saying that. And that's really, really cool that that's that people are seeing that and I'm seeing that. And at the same time, there's so many other things that I can do. I can color grade better. I can, maybe add some more music, maybe add more text, and there's always more you can do. And I think a lot of times I just try to perfect the first step. And even with music, I think not really when it comes to like the rapping ability, because I think when it comes to rapping and delivery, regardless of people saying that my delivery was boring or whatever they wanted to say about me, I know that I got so much better as the years went on. I think that I made some really cool stuff as a artist and rapper and sometimes singer. But there are so many other things musically I could have learned as well to make me a better artist overall. Like learning a DAW and learning how to mix and master, and like actually learning that, not just putting it into a system, and building a studio for myself and all these different things, like making my own beats. There were so many things that I could have done to take further steps, but I just tried to master the first step and hope that me doing that, me being a perfectionist in this particular area, would then make people be like, oh, he's so great that, like, I guess I'll give him this, or I have my faith in him, I believe in him, so I'm gonna, put him on or bring him to the studio or whatever. And that worked at times. Like, it wasn't like that didn't happen, but I think it did slow down a lot of the growth that I could have made if I just chose those other steps and pushed myself a little bit more forward. And yeah, it's interesting that I just said that the way that I did, because I'm not going to edit this video, because I want to try to see if me not editing will lead to anything. Videos that I've been watching where a lot of people do unedited content, and those get a lot of views, even for smaller channels. And it's interesting now when I record videos, I'll try to, whenever I mess up or feel like I mess up, I will repeat myself in the same cadence or the same delivery as if I'm gonna edit it and cut out the mistake later. And I think honestly that helps. What helps a lot with that is the fact that I've recorded music for so long, and punching in and finding the same delivery pocket that you had in a previous take is very similar to doing this. So it's something that I just can naturally do. But now, like, going back to what I was saying before about recording and all that stuff, like, it's cool now doing this YouTube thing and doing it all myself. Like, I make my own thumbnails regardless of what you may think about them. I'm proud of them. I make my own thumbnails. I edit all my videos myself. I record them, obviously. I go see the movies. I do a short. I've been doing TikToks every day. I've really been doing it all by myself, and I'm proud of that. I'm extremely, extremely proud of that, more than I can express, because I've been relying on other people for so long. I used to always want to be professional. That was a big thing for me as a artist. I always wanted to get my cover art on time. I always wanted to get the mix on time. I always wanted to do the release date on time, and I feel like I never was able to accomplish that, especially with my projects and my full albums. Like, I never was able to accomplish the professionalism I always wanted. And now I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to doing that on YouTube. And it's cool to be able to take that seriously. It's cool to be able to take that seriously by myself, and me being my own timetable. And that comes with its pros and cons, though, because since I'm my own timetable, it's hard for me to know when I need to slow down, or when I'm doing too much, or if I'm not doing enough. It's all up to me, and that can be very daunting and very overwhelming, but it's also a lot of power that I haven't felt in a long time, where I just feel like it's up to me to figure this out. I'm not relying on anybody. I'm not asking anybody to help me. And I probably, for the foreseeable future, won't ask anybody to help me, because I like being able to speak through my editing and speak to the camera. It's cool to be able to speak in two different ways, and people digesting both of those languages. It's very dope to me. So trying this type of video is a little different for me. Just trying to speak and hope that just me saying it in one way resonates with somebody. If you're a creator or if you're not, being a consumer is just important. It's just as important as being a creator. Both of them matter. And I think sometimes as people who compare themselves to other people, because we're humans, I think we really forget how important the consumer is. It's important that people consume what you put out. It's important that people are inspired or do enjoy what you do as a artist or creative, and that is just as important as you creating something, in my opinion. If it was just creators digesting creators, niggas would hate and sleep on and act like it doesn't matter. Because again, I've been in rooms with rappers. That's all we do all the time. And when rappers don't do that, it's normally for their own ego still. The mindset of a rapper is one of the most fascinating and frustrating things to ever experience. And I'm somebody who has been that for 7 years or so. And so when I say that, not only do I speak from experience, like experiencing them, but I am one, and I hate myself a lot of times. So, do with that what you will. But I appreciate you watching this video. If you are watching this video, this is just an experiment to just see what could happen if I do more unedited content. I'm trying my best, giving it everything I got, and I hope that it leads to something. I really do. I question my significance in this world. I question if I should be alive right now and what my worth is when I breathe. But I know that I don't want to keep on stepping forward, even if it's hard to. And I hope that you do the same, because you mean something to somebody, even if you don't believe that, because I don't believe that. But logically, I do believe that's just emotional. It's just emotional thinking. And if you deal with a lot of self-hatred and a lot of depression, I just hope you know that you mean something to somebody. And just like how I've said in my other self-help videos, please stay here, because you mean something. You really do. And you are beautiful, and you are special, and you are great. And I hope that you find something that gives you a sense of purpose and joy in life, because even though I'm not getting monetized off of these videos, I really enjoy what I'm doing right now, and I'm proud of what I'm doing. And it's the first time I felt that way in years. And I've been working hard for a long time, but this is the first time in a while where I'm genuinely proud of the fact that I'm working hard, and I can say that without questioning it. And I hope you find that for yourself. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. I'm gonna go home, do my thing, and thank you for watching. Peace.